Most people tend to avoid processing their grief for the same reason they avoid drinking their coffee black. They know that it's bitter. They dislike the bitterness. And so in an attempt to distract themselves, in an attempt to distract their senses from the bitterness of the coffee, they load it up with all types of sugar and cream, even though they know 3 out of 4 of us are lactose intolerant. And all types of stuff to mask the bitterness of the coffee. And they think they succeed until they realize, no. This distraction experiment didn't mask the bitterness of the coffee. It robbed them of the enjoyment of the sweetnesses that lie on the back end. Here's what most of y'all don't know. Coffee's not a bean. Coffee is a fruit. It's the pit of a cherry. This fruit takes on the flavor of its soil. The thing is, though, it only lets the people that lean into the bitterness enjoy the sweetness that's on the back end. The only way to enjoy the sweetnesses on the back end is not to try to run away from the bitterness of the coffee. It's to own it. It's to say, no, yes, coffee is bitter. I own it, but I know that it's not only bitter. So if you lean in and drink, what you'll find is there's subtle sweetnesses on the back end that are only reserved for people that'll lean in. Grief is the same way. Grief is bitter. But it's not only bitter. So many of us are in distraction experiments where we're trying to distract our senses from the bitterness of grief with sex and accomplishments and compliments and all types of stuff. And in an attempt to mask the bitterness of grief, the only thing that we do is disqualify ourselves from the prerequisite leaning into it that unlocks the sweetnesses on the back end. Coffee is bitter. Grief is bitter. But we don't have to stop there. Both of those can be bittersweet.